Alright, greetings world. Well, this is Gusta, the African Buddha. Well, today the topic that I'll be discussing to give you a background, there was once there is once a poem, the poem that I consider the greatest poem I've ever heard, and I won't say close myself, but I don't think I think I've cemented it to be the greatest poem that I personally is Kuluma as this individual, this who I've ever heard, Of course, there's. Let me not get into that. It's by by Udada. I refer to him as Udada. By Amos Wilson. Amos Wilson to me is the greatest pan-Africanist that I was ever lived. To me, he's my greatest pan-Africanist and my greatest writer and a greatest African let me stop with pan-Africanism. But I loved that man so much. So there was once this poem that he closed off one of his talk or lecture, if you may call him, in a university. I don't know which university was it or which year, but the Nanziga, the Nanziga, the talk or the lecture, however you wanna refer to it, it's called it's titled The Psychology of Cooperative Economics by Dr. Amos Wilson. If you search that on YouTube, I'm sure you can find it. So there, he closed off with a poem. I would title it because it was he didn't title it. He just said I would close off, and then he just Naziga recited. But I would call it Naziga the battle must be fought. So he Naziga, since it was Naziga like I would say clarion call to Africans, and they're saying, but it is time for us to take up the banner and whatever field or domain that we enter in terms of our curriculums or invocations or woman of vocations or work or whatever you might be doing in that area that you are in. You must use that area as a means of you must try and bring an African perspective or an African let me stop at that for now, for a better word. An African perspective or an area that we must conquer and use to our interest. Yeah. So again, he goes off he starts off it might be the battle. That might be the battle of the mind. It might be because he starts off by saying battle of the spirit mind was Naziga. It might be battle of Naziga of kind of tank and plane, of iron, of technology, of satellite, of plane, but he mentions various fields, of technology, of books, of Naziga. But then people when I think about people, they are are called into different domains. I would think the ones that have been pulled into, I don't know, they might be an ego trip or whatever, but the one that has been so dominant throughout my life existence has been as much as I hate to say it, maybe I should not say it even. But as I was saying, I want to say called, the one that has been popping across. Okay, let me not say called, but I would say the one I've been struggling with the most, because I won't say vaguely called, but anyways, it's been one of of spirituality. You know what I mean? So yeah, So he says, okay, in one of the things he mentioned, the poems, it was the battle must be taken up, mind, wars of the spirit, something like that. So I've been finding myself in a whole lot of those, unintendedly, and to my liking, I would rather I for real, I would rather like not like engage in those or like be predominantly like involved in them. But okay, that's not where I'm at, The one gets okay. Why am I not going like that? Why am I mentioning that? I am mentioning that because I wanna talk about Nanzega about now, but what could be the the possible basis of moral conduct? Yeah, of how yeah, I'll put it like that, So since Nanzega the Nanzega the immoral conduct, right? It's immoral conduct again, commonly it's been understood as that Nanzega, that sense of right and wrong, but I feel like that is not all that it is, right? So so where am I going with this now? Nanzega, yeah, what may be in this new day and age, possible Nanzega basis and governance and conduct of moral conduct, you know what I mean? Why? Because I feel for me, why do I feel like it's important to know that? I feel like it's important because it's one of the main, if it's not the main basis of where Nanzega conduct as a person stems from, you know what I mean? So I would say that it's important because it is the one that results or is not responsible. Maybe you can say responsible, but is the cause of of many things in the world because they stem from that. So it's important, So in that, meaning that okay, I will go on and elaborate on that. But yeah, I feel like there's a point that I jumped over, but it's still not coming to to the forefront of in my field of conscious attention. But for now, I'll continue and say, but okay, so that's where it's at now. So again, inazika yona immoral conduct yona, where is it based? One may ask that one. Unazika again. There was once in Nanzega, yeah. I don't know whether I would call him a psychologist or but it was a researcher called by PJ. So since Tina could deal with Nanzega with theories of in the education and the psychology part of it, would deal with this theory. He tried to investigate, where does morality stem from? I don't know whether in biologically or psychologically, but in his basis, he ended up concluding that immorality stems from from fairness, if I may put it like that, meaning that how does one come to the conclusion? But what he's doing is the utmost thing that is the best thing that he could do out of any given situation. So again, meaning by okay, where did it stem from? Some say, so he said it stems from fairness, that quality that it starts in childhood of being fair when you play games, when you treat people just fairness. What means fairness? Fairness is treating, not limited to people, situations, and Nanzega nje plain right approach to things with fair, but mostly relating to people. In a nutshell, fairness means treating everybody commonly, if I may say, without without favoritism or discrimination, prejudice, meaning that it's a level foreground of approaching things, meaning that you do not favor the one of the other, you do not discriminate or one of the other. So meaning it's more like a thing that is center, it's not more, it's not less, but it's just is. Okay, so moving on. For me, in terms of the new Nazika in the new term age, for me, I would say Nazika as a person and individual, it's either like you are for life or you are for distraction. I don't want to use death, but because death is a complicated thing, because even life is nested in death. Sometimes life, in order to to progress or evolve, there's gotta be death. So, but I would say distraction, distraction, distraction. So I would term that like when I like in I don't know if it's like the uppermost in terms of conceptualization or abstraction, but I feel like as a basis of connecting, you must either ask yourself okay, is this thing for the betterment of life, of life flowing, or is it moving closer to Nanzega? Is it moving closer to distraction? What do you mean by that? Well, for an example, so yes, I was saying, but with this new age time, I think the way I go fly if easily conceptualizing in Nanzega immorality is to ask yourself, is this thing, or is this process, is this Nanzega for life, meaning bettering life, enhancing life, or moving forward to more life, you know what I mean? Or is it the opposite of okay, moving closer to distraction? But for now, I think I shall end there. Roasted the African Buddha. Bah!